Hello guys, today we're going to review the movie Clash of the Titans, the 1981 version. And yeah, this is on, and yeah, this is a very good movie. A little bit about it before we get into the nitty gritties. It was released in, like I said, 1981. It's rated PG and it's an hour 58 long. It had 6.9 out of 10 on IMDb with about 38,000 issues or votes and 59% on Metacritic with 9 critics. It stars Lawrence Oliver, who was in the movie Rebecca, and Harry Hamlin, who was in the TV series L.A. Law. And it's directed by Desmond Davis, who directed the movie Girl with Green Eyes. And I also want to especially highlight that this is Harry. How do you pronounce his? Oh man, Harry. I got. Hold on a sec. Let me go through the Rotten Tomatoes part. The movie has 68% by critics with 41 critics and 70% by audiences with 56,000 user audiences. And the critics' consensus on Rotten Tomatoes is a goofy, old-fashioned sword and sandal epic. Clash of the Titans mines Greek mythology for its story and fleshes it out with Ray Harryhausen's charmingly archaic stop-motion animation techniques. So yeah, this is a Ray Harryhausen movie, just like Jason and the Argonauts that I reviewed a while back. The movie is available to rent and buy, not stream, but it's available to rent and buy on Amazon, Fandango, YouTube, Google Play, iTunes, Vudu, Microsoft Store, DirecTV, and Redbox. Alright, now the DVD release date's kind of tricky. I couldn't find it, because every time I try to put it in, it always showed the remake. And it showed, when I tried 1981, it only showed me the 2010 release. However, this one right here is from 2002. So, if any of you know for sure, just let me know in the comments. But I'm guessing probably 2002 is my guess. So a little bit about this movie. So this was actually the last movie Harryhausen worked on with special effects. This is his last special effects project movie. It was released in '81. If you watch the movie, I don't know if it looks '81, but it's definitely of that time period. Apparently this movie came out, the reason why the numbers, if you look at a lot of his movies, they're often critically acclaimed, although this one's kind of on the lower end. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that at that point in time, special effects have evolved beyond stop motion. They were becoming more kind of computer driven. Blue screen was kind of becoming a thing. The precursor to green screen. Um, and other things as well. And of course, Star Wars came out in like '77 and everything, and that changed. Was it '77 or was it '78? I think it was '78. I can't remember. Late '70s, but when that changed everything, and special effects kind of evolved. I mean, so when this movie came out, it was kind of thought of as behind the times. Good, but behind the times. So it didn't really get the credit it probably deserves. Now, granted, is this the best of his work? I don't know. This is only the second of his movies I've seen. He's done a few more than this. A lot of people consider Jason the Argonauts his best work. However, whether it's better than this movie, I don't know. I will say the acting in this is actually pretty good. The acting isn't bad at all. The special effects are very good. The stop motion in this movie is impeccable. Now, however, there are, with a lot of these older movie special effects, you're gonna notice some things in it that aren't gonna look real. However, I'm not gonna hold it against this movie because there's plenty of movies nowadays released with really, really shitty CGI that just looks god awful, and a lot of movies overuse it, and it's an awful, awful thing. So I'm not gonna fault an older movie for having a few hiccups in the special effects department. We have movies nowadays that are doing it a lot worse. So yeah, and and yeah, he did continue in Ray Harryhausen. He did continue in the film industry for a while, but doing various other things, but he never did anything like this again. So, how does it hold? doesn't make a few changes from mythology, but it still follows the general thing. It made some changes for the movie, but it still has the spirit of it. It still has the oomph that makes it awesome. Um, I think what I love, I think I will say Jason and the Argonauts. I don't know if I mentioned this in a previous video, but it does it. But the only thing about that movie was a bit jarring is towards the end. For us at least, when me and my sister watched that, when we looked it up, no one mentioned it at all. So I think it was just a thing with movies at the time to have endings that were abrupt. Because I know it's a lot of older movies, they end very abruptly. They don't waste time with kind of just like after the event dialogue. Once the event is done, it's done. And that's kind of what that movie was. This movie does have a more classic conclusion that we're more familiar with. So it has that. Special effects wise, it's still great effects. I don't know if it's his best. I feel like with the thing about Jason and the Argonauts, the effects in that one were so diverse. You saw so many different things. This movie, you see different things too, but it doesn't. The story is more focused on specific areas. There's not like a bunch of traveling like Jason Argonauts was. This was more kind of within an area. So you see creatures a bit more often in this one, but they're well done. There's actually it actually has some funny moments, and it also has it has it has a pretty decent female character actually too. In all honesty, my sister would agree with me too if she was here on that. And it's a very well made movie, and it's a good adventure, fun, well made movie. Like on a technical level, it's well made. On a fun level, it's great because there are some cheesy moments, but I'm fine with that. There's nothing wrong with having some cheese in your movie. That's what makes it. That's just what gives it the funness that a lot of movies nowadays don't really do. Really, I don't see a lot of movies do cheese well. It's kind of a lost art form in cinema nowadays. Um, but yeah, this is a great movie. I love this. If you get, I write for any movie that highlights special effects and atmosphere and everything. I always recommend Blu-ray, but I watched it on DVD and I thought it was pretty good. And same thing with Jason the Argonauts. I thought it was fine too. So if you just find it on DVD, there's nothing wrong with picking that one up. Um, it is around. You can find it. Um, although I wouldn't say it's everywhere though. I think you might end up just renting or buying or even streaming it if you ever see it on a platform. But if you do manage to find it, it's a recommendation. Anything with Ray Harryhausen's name on it, I recommend getting. In all honesty, because his special effects are top notch always. Um, the only other really thing I know that he did was a lot of Sinbad movies that did well. He did a few other things, but I don't have them on top of my head. Really, this and the Argonauts, I feel like are his kind of his more popular work, because mainly because this was his last one. Argonauts is considered his best work, so really they get talked about a bit more. Um, I can't think of any flaws in this movie. I think well, again, I think a lot of that reception is just due to when it was released in his career. I feel like if people were just gonna binge watch Ray Harryhausen movies, I don't think they would notice a lot quality dips at all. In all honesty, if any. Um, it is considered a classic. A lot of people love this movie. Some people consider it a cult classic, but I don't know about cult classic just because usually when I think of classics, I think of movies that are good but also very niche and cheesy. And this movie, it has a little bit of that, but I don't know if it's to that level. At least for me. I don't know. If I meet more people who like this movie and share their thoughts on it, maybe I could gauge a bit more on more of the thoughts on that. But for what it is, it's a great movie. If you just want to watch something, just a classic action adventure, swashbucklery, sword and sandal adventure with great quality and a bit of cheese, this is a great movie to pick up. It's yeah, despite its age, being released in '81, I mean, if people can watch Star Wars that was made in the late '70s into the early mid '80s, you can watch this. but um, but yeah, it's a great movie. I recommend checking it out. And and yeah, if you want to share your thoughts on it or have questions about it, just say so in the comments. Or if you want a more flowing conversation, apply to our Discord channel in the about page of our YouTube channel. There's a little link there. Um, and yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like the videos, and have a good day.